Hey guys, Station X here. Today we're gonna be doing another type of collection video, just like similarly to my video game haul video, but I don't think I'm gonna call it that this time. I'm just gonna call it like a pickups video because I didn't go out and specifically buy these. I actually got them for free, and I figured I'd talk a little bit about like if say you wanted to start a collection or whatever, how to maybe go about that a few times, because as you guys have probably seen in previous videos, I'm a very serious video game collector. I like collecting a lot of things, and so just having stuff like this, just having random games is kind of the nature of the beast. Like if you just want to have a complete set of video games, like how with my Wii U collection I have every single Wii U game, you're gonna have games that you either don't play or just don't care for. And while I wouldn't say these are games I'm not probably ever gonna play or care for, you know, that does happen sometimes. But something that also happens is when you're collecting and you have friends, family, or just people who know you, they know you collect. Sometimes they offer a helping hand. If you let it be known, hey, I like collecting games, sometimes if someone's getting rid of something or they don't want it anymore, they'll tell you, hey, instead of me throwing this out, do you want this? And so it's a nice thing to be like, yeah, you know what, I'll take that. That's what I always do all the time. If someone's throwing something out or getting rid of something or whatever, before they do that, I always tell them, hey, just let me know about it. I do that all the time. Friends, family, just people who know you, that's always a nice thing. With this one, with the exception of the Steelbook, which I really like Steelbooks, very nice. Mostly it's just original Xbox. It's just original Xbox and PS2. There's 4 original Xbox games, 5 PS2 games. So a little bit more than the last time I talked about just getting games in general. But yeah, what's funny is that the person who I picked this up from, they had like pretty much all the Jack games. I didn't have Jack 3, but I already owned Jack 3. So I haven't played the Jack and Daxter games. And when I had Jack 3, I didn't want to like just start with that one. I feel like I don't like doing that. I like starting from the beginning, and I'm not too certain if this is the very first one, just because it has just a different title compared to the second one. If it is the first one, I don't know why they don't just call it Jack and Daxter 2, but I mean, hey, you guys let me know if this is the first one. I'm pretty certain this is the first one, and this is like just a racing game, kind of similar to how like, you know, Mario had Mario Kart and Sonic had Team Sonic Racing and Crash had Crash Team Racing and etc., etc. So just 3 Jack games in this big pile right here, which I thought was really nice. And I'm pretty sure I at least have most, if not all, of the Jack games for PS2. At the very least, I have the first 3, so that's nice. And then the other 2 is Need for Speed Underground 2. I actually had the first one on the original Xbox, so it's kind of funny how I now have it for the second one for PS2. It is what it is. I'm not too picky on like, oh, I want it. I'd rather it be on the same system, but I mean, hey, I was gonna end up getting this eventually at some point, so that's just kind of what happens. Now, Need for Speed games are pretty good racing games. I don't play every single one. I've played a few here and there, so they're not necessarily my cup of tea. I really like having the character-themed racers like Mario Kart and etc. Not usually super into realistic racing games, although they do have their place. And I mean, it's not like this is like the most realistic racing game of all time, but it's a racing game that people enjoy. So I always give it a try every now and then. And then of course we have Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, the video game. And while I know a lot of people don't like the prequel trilogy that much, I really enjoyed Episode 3. I don't know. This is me. Well, Episode 1 was okay. Like, I wasn't, like, super thrilled on it. Episode 2 was better, I feel like. And then Episode 3 was, like, the best out of the 3. Is it the best Star Wars movie out of all of them? You know. It's kind of up to you. But I enjoyed Episode 3. So it's nice to have a game from it. And it even says here that it has, like, actual film footage from the movie, which is kind of funny. Star Wars games are always really nice to have, and normally they're original stories. They have like their own thing, not just redoing the movie. So it's kind of funny and nice to have a video game just based off of the movie. So there you go. You have now going to the original Xbox, which is a very fun system to collect for. I very much enjoy collecting the original Xbox just because this is the first Xbox that Microsoft did, of course, and so you kind of see some things that are Xbox exclusive that are weird and out there. But while I don't have a lot of those, I mean, there's still a lot of interesting, unique games on that system, which I think are pretty cool. This one's like a jet ski one. A jet ski racing game. Kind of reminds me of SSX Tricky. That one I loved. That was like my favorite snowboarding game of all time. I don't know how similar this is to it. It does just look like a very similar version of SSX Tricky, but I mean, hey, I'll try it out because I mean, if anything plays like that, I'm in. Then you got Sonic Heroes. This one was a pretty decent game. I really much enjoyed this, and so now I have the original Xbox. So, and Sonic makes his debut on the Xbox. I think is it the first one that they did on the Xbox? I guess so. I don't know. I don't remember which one came out first, but I mean, hey. But yeah, this one's a classic, and of course, some of these are complete. They got the manuals and everything, so that's pretty cool. This one is another racing game. Now, this is I'm gonna probably just say this is a shovelware game because I've never heard of this, and it kind of looks like it. Whenever you have like games that just you don't know the title of or just don't recognize, and I don't know, this kind of stuff to me looks like shovelware, but I could be wrong. No Xbox owner should be caught without this game. That's a very interesting sticker to have. Well, I guess now I own it, so if I'm not gonna be caught without it. And then Nhl Hits 2003. I actually really like NHL games on the original Xbox. During this time, I feel like it was a little bit easier for me to actually play it. Because I try playing modern NHL games now, and I just can't do it. I'm really bad at it. This right here, like, my favorite one was NHL 2002. I love that one. And so, getting this for free was pretty nice to have. So I like collecting NHL games from now and then. Just not so much the modern ones because of the fact that I'm not really good at them and they don't really change a whole lot. You know, I feel like sports games nowadays have gotten kind of, lazy with it. Whereas back in the day, they actually like try to do different things and stuff like that and have really nice features and really cool concepts, and they would try to go really all out with it. Because they didn't look the most realistic things in the world, so they kind of gave you features that were like, oh, hey man, like this kind of makes up for the fact that this is a pretty blocky version of my favorite sports person. So, that was just kind of it. Like wrestling games were like that, NBA games were like that, Madden games were like that, and there was also more than just the normal people, like EA making the NHLs and stuff, like 2K's making the NBAs. Madden being Madden. So, like, there were other companies doing games, like doing sports games. So there was more than one person doing NHL, more than one person doing NBA, NFL, all these other sports games. With the exception of WWE, of course. But they always had like one person doing it. And then, of course, you got this nice Steelbook. Very much enjoy Steelbooks. This is the Fallout 4 one. And this is for PS4, but normally I don't really care to keep it with PS4 or Xbox if I could swap them, because I don't have the case for Fallout 4 for PS4. So what I'm probably gonna do is just give this one to my brother and keep the case to use for the Xbox one that I have, because I don't like having loose discs and I like having an original case with it as well as a Steelbook. If I had to choose, obviously, I would go for original case over a Steelbook, just because of the fact that I don't like not having the case represented on there. Because for one, while I love having this metal case and it has the name on it, which games just don't do for whatever reason nowadays, they don't, have these headers really. There are a few I know to do, but they don't have that, or they don't have the sleeve, or usually when you get a premium, you don't get the sleeve. So what ends up happening is you just have this case that looks out of place on the shelf. I like having my shelf all nice and organized, so I like having both. If I could get both, I like having both. Sometimes when they do special editions, they give you both, which is nice. I always love that, and I always love when they just push that out more. Practically no company does it. The Square Enix is the only one that did it, and their most recent game didn't. So I think they're stopping that, which really makes me sad, but it is what it is. So that's probably what I'm gonna do with it, because, well, yeah, I could say I have Fallout 4 for PS4. I'm not gonna just have this case and then try to track down another version of it, just whatever. This will just be for the Xbox still, because if you bought it for Xbox, it looks exactly the same anyway. It doesn't really matter. And that's what I kind of like about Steelbooks, is that you could say screw it and put it for the Xbox version or PS4 or whatever. I think the only difference is that where the disc is on the either side. So, because I know some Steelbooks actually did that, where they have it on like the other side instead of being the normal way, which, I mean, I prefer it this way, but it's whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my video game haul right here, or pickup. Now, something I did want to talk about is just kind of like how to amass a massive collection. And real quick, one easy tip if you're trying to complete systems, like getting every single game in the system, is doing eBay lots. Especially when you're first starting the collection, eBay lots help you fill in those needless titles specifically very easily, and you're not paying like full price or whatever, like full value for a game. A lot of the times you're usually, say for an example, 100 games for $100. That's $1 a game right there. You're only paying $1 a game. And if it's random, specifically if the situation is you get a random lot and you don't know what you're getting, sometimes you could save money on a game because the game might be worth more than $1, which a lot of the times they are. If they throw in a lot of sports games, they usually aren't, or they are worth $1, so you're not really paying more or less. But that's just kind of the nature of it as well. And then from there, you also do get duplicates sometimes. But what I like doing with the duplicates is I like taking the cases and using them to replace either a damaged one or give it a nice clean one. So that's something I very much enjoy doing. So this way I could at least save or preserve a nice looking case and stuff like that, and give it a nice proper version instead of having just this broken down, like say the corners destroyed or whatever. Of course, you could also go on Amazon and replace the cases themselves, or say the cover looks better, just swap that out. Say they have manuals or whatever, just kind of like Frankensteining it essentially. So eBay lots also help you do that as well. But I do stress that if you're going to do that, you look at everything. You look at the description, you look at the pictures, you look at everything. You contact the seller and make sure you know what you're getting, because you don't want to buy something and then it's just not advantageous to you, or it doesn't satisfy your need for the collection, or whatever situation there may be. So I highly encourage doing your research before going full into buying eBay lots. Because there have been times where I did that and it didn't, I would buy something and it wasn't the thing I thought it was, so I'd have to return it, and that's a very big pain in the keister. So that's just something I would stress about doing those, but they are a fantastic way to quickly build up a collection for specifically PS2. I mean, PS2 has so many titles, since it was like the most popular, most sold console of all time. I mean, like, that one, just no-brainer, has just more than the average console, so there's a lot of shovelware on that. Same thing with the Wii. Those two systems specifically benefit from eBay hauls, but let me know what you guys think about collecting it in general. Tell me about your guys' collections in the comments below. I am Station X. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.